When it came time to actually sort of premiere the film, I didn't blame anyone, particularly people that were close to us and sort of lived it. Kind of like, this seems, I don't know, seems a little kitschy or hokey or whatnot.
Oh, from England.
Australia. I wish I had an accent.
And so I appreciated levels of skepticism. I actually sort of thrive off that again. Like people stepping into it going, this just doesn't seem like a good idea. You know, Steve Jobs said, always give people what they don't know that they want. And I think this film was in some ways like something that people didn't know that they wanted. But history might say now, after a year of being released, that it is something they wanted. The people that mean the most to me about critique and comments on the film are the people that were closest to me. So I know you stepped into the theater that day going, I don't really want to come. And I feel like I'm putting myself inadvertently in a terrifying position because I love Joel. You know, a lot of the origin story of what became For King Country was, you know, us working together, and sort of the house that built me in many ways is partly you. And so stepping into that theater for the premiere when nothing can be done, by the way, it's done. Like you can't offer me input at that point. It just seems like a terrifying prospect for you to be put in that seat, so to speak. I'm interested to know though, like you walked in and then what did you think and feel? And like, what was your response?
From 2019 through the pandemic, you know, I sold my house and went full-time RVing. I was disengaging. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. The relational part of it created a lot of fear in me. So coming to a movie premiere where there's a red carpet, there's lights, there's all these people I know and I enjoy on an individual basis. Actually, my good wife is the one who's like, she's the one who said to me, these are your friends. This means so much to them. You have to go down there and tell them that they matter. Just by being there, even though there's a million people in their world, if you don't go, you're just saying you don't care what they did with their creative output.
Go, Stacy.
So I'm like, dang it. She's right. I do care. I want them to know, even if the movie sucks, I'm going to support them. And that was part of my fear was, what if this movie really sucks? Of course, I was completely unprepared because my story intersected so much of it, I could barely see the movie for half of it because I'm like, fortunately, Stacy was prepared. She had tissues. But I remember just watching, you know, when you guys were in that house and I had spoken to your dad in that house and I knew what was going on. And then John Moore, you know, and his character morph with the other guy.
Jed,
And then, of course, I had history with John Moore after that. You know, I went to Ukraine.
Of course.
And I didn't know anything about that. And, you know, one part of the story that I don't think is ever really told, and I've told as many people as I can, and I may need to cut this out of the podcast. You can tell me this or not, but the whole publishing deal.
Right.
Where your dad gave Rebecca's publishing to John.
Yeah, gave a portion. The portion of the publishing was either going to go, it wasn't going to go to them either way. It was either going to go to a label
right,
or to someone else. And so it didn't mean anything at the time. But yeah, Dad and Rebecca gave that portion to John Moore and family as a way to say thank you.
Yes.
Which again, didn't mean anything.
But when it came to the deal making, it looked like it might scuttle the deal because David and Rebecca couldn't give the publishing to the label because somebody else had it. Yeah. So John did that deal with Eddie, and then, you know, where they split it, because he's like, why should I give you something and get nothing? And so he did that deal. And then years later, when John is in difficult times, your dad is able to go to him and buy back and help him after he had helped you so much. And I just love that part of the story. Of course, it's not part of the movie, and it didn't need to be part of the movie.
Well, and it's good because it's like the first half of the conversation was really part of it, and that was John Moore stepping in on just quietly paying the hospital bill, and also...
Do you think he did that?
Yeah.
You have that?
I think so.
Okay.
And then also particularly giving us the car.
Oh, yeah.
You know, both of which would have probably amounted to, I mean, $6,000 for maybe the hospital bill and maybe $15,000. So you put it together, let's say it's 20 grand. You know, in that time, maybe you scaled it up a bit because it was 30 years ago. So it's probably 30 grand now, maybe 40 grand at most. But what's really, this is the multiplicity of God, right? What's really cool is like, if you do the estimation of that, let's say it is 40 grand, then the estimation of the publishing that Rebecca and David gave John Moore so that when he and his family went to be missionaries in Ukraine, it was estimated to be about $400,000.
And
To
you know,
live
that
off
funded their mission. I just feel like that's just a fantastic part of the story right there. But anyway, I'm at the movie. And of course, John Moore relays that story to me again. I already knew it, but I love to hear it again. This magnificent defeat thing. You know, I came to America on a magnificent defeat. Didn't feel magnificent. It just felt like a defeat.
Right.
You know, at the time. And
Most
your family
magnificent defeats always feel like just
you're in the
defeats.
valley. All you can see is hills all around. There's no way out of this. Feeling what your dad went through and then understanding there's no Rebecca St. James with the ministry heart to the level she had. Same with For King and Country, because you learned faith in that experience.
Yeah.
You learned humility. You learned work ethic, doing what you had to do.
Right.
All those things that you learned. And so, I mean, the movie hit me, and of course, it was well acted. Stacy loved the movie. I've only gotten positive feedback. I haven't had anybody say to me, well, that acting sucked or that sucked or whatever. We can all look back at any work we've done and critique it. But, you know, art is the point in time. You have to let it go.
It's good.
It's not complete until it's released. And at that point forward, you keep growing and it doesn't.